Episode 3, baby. Thank you very much indeed for joining us again. We're in episode 3. We're recording in a different place for the next 2 episodes because we cannot get into the usual studios of Monkey Barrel because we don't have engineers.
Yeah.
Far be it from me to say that's no way to run a podcast studio, but here we are.
We built the bricks everywhere we go.
Did, yeah.
Look at these solid bricks we have.
We've got a group of Romanian brickies that come in every time to build us a backdrop. So we're in Slossy's studio.
Yeah. The Sloss and Humphreys on the road studio.
Humphreys on the road studio. We should just do this for everyone. We should just take over. We do have awards next.
Oh yeah.
And
I take over.
And then whatever sex dungeon
it sounds
Freddie Quinn and Rob Mulholland do theirs in.
Absolute Cuts takeover. It does sound actually funnier with our name on it. Absolute Cuts takeover.
Yeah. So we've just been to see Ryan doing a gig in the poshest.
It's the poshest room I've ever been in.
Yeah, private members club.
Yeah. So I got to do a gig in the Glen Eagles townhouse. Is it the Glen Eagles townhouse? And I walked in. I was nervous about it because I was like, God, these people are not going to like my stuff. And then, I'll admit it worse by going, God, these people are not going to like writing stuff. And I go, don't say it to me. And I came on and I was like, well. You know what? He was like, well, I do that thing sometimes when I know it's going to be a bad gig and you're opening where I warn them.
Yeah.
You know, usually you don't want it really, but I was like, it's probably one of the places that would be a decent idea to set them up. But he really warned them. Like, he talked about the warning for like a minute. Now, you say you like dark stuff. You say it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it's going to, and it wasn't too bad in fairness.
I got exactly the same. I came in after you'd been on for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was remarkably surprised at how well it was going.
Bar the one or two about the lad. The German lady.
There was a German lady that was a bookseller. And because I could see the cogs turning as well. And I was like, there's not a chance he's not going to mention Mein Kampf. And you fucking did. So it was...
yeah, she was. Some woman, the old woman, there was a woman on a breathing machine. Did you know that? No,
I saw her come up. I didn't know she was in the crowd. I saw some woman come up with the 2 tubes going into her nose.
So I didn't know that from the start, and I was about 5 minutes in the gig, and I could hear it was like a Darth Vader sound, like, and I was like, what? And at one stage, thankfully, because I didn't notice her, I would just leave it. But I was lucky that I didn't do like a reflex. What the fuck is that? What the fuck do you have going on there? She gave me fucking back chat too. I can't remember what she said.
Did she?
I can't remember at the very start. In a funny way. Guys, do you guys know who I am? And she goes, what? Do you know who I fucking am? I was like, well, here we go. Joke number 2. Is that the second joke of the night? I went from Benidorm to the Glen Eagles.
You did, because you've been in... so there's some people that will listen to the various podcasts that you do, and I've done some. Oh no, it was Matty the Pincers.
It was Matty the Pincers, yeah.
Stag do in Benidorm.
Oh man, I'll happily never go back.
I've never been to Benidorm in my life. I've got an idea of what it's like.
Right, so everything you think is exactly correct.
Yeah.
It is exactly what you think it is. Beyond, it's like in parts in Spain where they like Benidorm, where they kind of like just ruined by English people. It is exactly that.
Yeah.
It is like that in a nutshell. I mean, there was parts where I've never seen that many. The entire promenade was taken up with like people parking their mobility scooters. My flight got delayed. Jet2 holidays because they had to get extra staff to deal with the amount of fucking mobility scooters and wheelchair access people on the flight back to Glasgow.
Jesus.
I was like, this is unbelievable. I was sitting there going like, oh fuck's sake, another 40-minute delay, and then I went up to the gate and I saw all the people and I went, oh my god, that's amazing.
How did they get
I don't know.
How did they get on the plane? Because there's a mobile. I tell you something that happened to me once, right?
Yeah.
No, first of all, how do they get on a plane in a mobility scooter? I assume mobility scooter means you can actually walk.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
I
need
think
it
so.
for-
Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, like, we both to and back, we had the tube. You didn't have to go up the steps. There were tube entrances into the plane.
Ah,
you know,
right,
like
yeah,
along
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
the corridor
yeah.
straight in. So in both flights, it was that. There was a kid. Oh, sweet Jesus, man. There was first of all, the Jet 2 woman that was the aerostess was proper, like, everyone's leaving Benidorm. This is Benidorm to Glasgow flight. And she starts going like, hello, everybody. Welcome to your flight to Glasgow. Woo! So she did that. And I was looking around going like, this isn't Spanish people going on holidays to Glasgow. Like, you know. And then that took forever, whatever. And then she started going there. The weather in Glasgow is actually really, really good. Can you believe that? And so it's not going to be much difference from Benidorm. We landed into torrential rain.
Yeah,
I was like, you fucking liar. But best one, there was a kid. There was a kid called Connie.
Connie.
There was a kid called Connie. That's why I laughed. There was someone called Connie in the gig, right? But there was a kid called Connie in the plane because you could tell she was he. I don't know, she or he, whatever. The kid, I couldn't even see the kid, but halfway up the plane.
I think it's a girl's name.
Well, Connie and
How would we know these days? Am I right, Ryan?
Well, Connie, Connie, he, she, or what, everything in between was screaming the plane down, going like,
Right.
"I need to get off." So this kid's like, let me get out. I can't let me get out. And it was obviously like a massive family because there was like uncles and aunts turning around going, we're nearly there, Connie. And then one of them was just like, you can't get off the plane now, we're not landed. And I was like, well, you no need to be like brutally honest.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Can't blow Connie out the fucking airlock.
I had the experience I was in Asda once, and I was behind someone with a mobility scooter, and what I thought was a motorised wheelchair at the time, and they were basically they're putting, so the assistant's putting through all their shopping, and then it was going down to them at the end, and they were just doing fuck all with it, right?
Yeah.
So I went in and started packing their bags for them.
Yeah.
Right. And I got maybe a slight thank you for that. Right? And I thought I'd done a genuinely good deed helping the disabled person.
Yeah.
And then this fucker wheels himself away, just parks the thing, and then gets up and wanders out. It's just a big lazy fat bastard that just had a mobility scooter.
Like, when I saw them, I was like, they're great. Like, they help people with the fucking, like, whatever, getting around the ring. I just couldn't believe it's just the sheer amount. Like, every restaurant, there was about 7.
Yeah.
I was just like, you can't, is this just like a little heaven for disabled people?
There's quite a lot of them in Vegas.
Yes, that's
I
right.
used to see them all run about. It was like fucking Mario Kart.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
watching
yeah.
them all go to the wee machines and stuff.
Oh. I put on I thought that was a fan going on. I seen this move, and then I put on the fan, and then I actually just turned on a fan in the middle of it. Right, Mark, we've had enough of you talking. I won't bleed you out.
Before we go on to the film, have a guess what I did today, and if you can guess it, I'll be astounded.
What you did today?
Yeah,
Right? Is it an activity?
It's an activity that it's a 2-part activity.
Buying and assembling something.
No,
Shit.
it involved. I'll just tell you. We and the kids went, because it's the kids' first day on the school holidays today when we're recording this. So we went fruit picking this morning, right, at a farm that's near Glasgow Airport. And we bought, and this afternoon I
Fucking
made...
emperors. You're just forcing them into...
yeah, slave labor. This is Brexit. But this afternoon I made gooseberry jam.
That wasn't nice.
Do you know what? It's fucking lovely.
Oh, my instinct was to attack there. But was it nice?
It takes ages. It takes so long, and it's the easiest. You just get a shitload of gooseberries, you stick them in a pan with water, and then you just fill it up with a kilo of sugar. Like, when I read it, I was like, that can't be a kilo of sugar. But you just keep pouring sugar into it, and then for 40 minutes you boil it, and then eventually it makes this tar.
Oh my god! It's
awesome.
That's class.
It is awesome.
That's class. I feel like, I mean, that's very funny when you put that much sugar in. You're always like, am I going to kill the children?
Yeah.
You can see the pan. You can see like the head of the sugar cut out, the little pyramid. Fucking hell.
Right, this week's film was my choice, and it's The Breakfast Club, which is the first film that one of us hasn't seen.
Yes.
You've never seen it. So first of all, did you like it?
Yes. I didn't think it was a classic. And the reason why I think it is because I've missed it.
At the time.
Like, yeah, even if I was younger, I get it. I watched it all and went, like, I do, and this is really good, and I enjoyed it. I feel like half of it is in the time and era.
Oh, it's dated. Like,
I know, I get it.
Really...
I get that, though. I watch dated films and all that there kind of thing. I just think I've seen all the shite rip-offs of it now.
Yeah, you're right.
I've seen like types of stuff, and I go, all right, so this is the OG, and I've watched the crap first.
No, you're right, actually.
So what happened in this thing, but I did enjoy it. Yeah, it was good. Like, it was great seeing Olo Emilio.
So I will go through the kids. So if you've not seen it, 5 kids they all play like the standard high school characters.
Yes.
For Americans, anyway.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I don't know, because there's like, so they all get detention for various reasons.
Yeah.
And they get put in detention on a Saturday at 7 in the morning.
Aye.
Which is fucking insane.
Was it 8 hours?
Yeah, 8 hours at 7 in the morning. Like,
yeah, no.
Unbelievable.
Ours was just 1 hour.
See, I don't think we had detention at school. We had maybe, you got maybe after school for like an hour, you would get kept behind and made to sit in a class doing nothing.
Okay.
But it was certainly never a day. You would never get sent in on a Saturday.
Yeah.
There was no teacher that was ever going to fucking volunteer to look after lunatics on a Saturday.
Yeah. We definitely, as far as I remember, we definitely didn't have anything on Saturday. It was an hour after school, or else sometimes during the break.
Aye.
Or maybe it wasn't during the break. You're not fucking eating.
Yeah. But the 5 of them are, there's a guy that's like just basically a criminal, and then there's a geeky guy, and then there's a sporty guy.
Yeah.
And then there's like the popular girl.
Yeah.
And then there's just a weirdo.
Weird freak woman.
Yeah.
Absolute freak of a woman.
So I was trying to think all the way through it, which one I was most like.
This is funny. I was going to ask you.
Because and as much as I would like it, it's the wee geeky guy without a shadow of a fucking doubt.
I think I'm going to go with Emilio for myself.
You'd put yourself as
I am the star of the show. I'm the one that gets big.
The wrestler. You were the best wrestler in the high school at Donegal.
It might have been a different sport. It might have been.
I'd be at what sport?
I was only good at one sport at school because I was so small.
Right.
And it was Unihawk.
The javelin.
Unihawk.
What the fuck is Unihawk?
Ice hockey with no ice. It's not just
hockey.
It's not really straight
field hockey.
It's not really straight up hockey because they had
the traditionally girls' sport of hockey.
Yeah, I was class. You have no idea, man. You want to see me go?
Ice hockey.
Yeah.
Without the ice.
No ice, please. Just bare feet.
Is that the ones with the wee?
They're like plastic versions of.
So it's not even the wee hooked wooden things that you would wrap up people's shins.
They are hooked as thing, but they're not. They also weren't made of wood. They were made of plastic.
What did you play it on?
The indoor football pitch, like the indoor gymnasium.
It wasn't even an outdoor sport.
No. That's why it was called Unihawk. Hockey.
Is this a big game in Ireland?
No. I feel like it was only done in the schools. Like, I've never seen anyone play Unihawk afterwards. I've seen people in like university play actual hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the exact same game, but they
What position did you play?
Fucking anywhere, man.
Oh, is it a free for all?
Yeah, I don't really think. I don't even remember. I wasn't sticking to
the Lionel Messi of Unihawk. Just like, listen, you stick to your positions. Let Ryan roam. Honestly, he's got a free roll.
Ram Doubter. Yeah, no. That's a good point. His whole backstory is he's literally good at sports. The only reason I chose him is because I was also stupid. What am I talking about? I'm the nerd. I did fucking applied maths. I stayed back after school.
I think most folk would be, because
he said
certainly anyone like that does a podcast. I think there's not many chicks like from. because what I liked about school, because see when people talk about high school, and the one thing I've always hated was when people go, "Oh, your school days, the best day of your life." Those are not.
Yeah.
They were utter shit.
Like
the majority of them were hellish.
Never went to a fucking Catholic Irish school.
Yeah,
fucking hell. Teachers going clean through half the students.
Yeah, but like none of the really good looking girls that were at my school would be making podcasts.
Oh God,
because
no.
they're now rough as fuck.
They're all hairdressers.
And, yeah, well, they're not even hairdressers. Like they've maybe got a job at Boots.
Okay.
If they were lucky.
Yeah.
But they're all
not like my glow up. Not like my glow up. I do a movie and a sports podcast.
Yeah.
How stereotypical.
Aye. But I definitely.
Yeah, I would be the nerdy dude. Yeah, especially for the reason he did end up getting.
Aye, so we'll go into that.
Well,
why they're in.
Yeah,
Aye.
You know, just from the off when I started, I didn't really know. I didn't know. I knew the song. I knew fucking thing.
Simple Minds.
I knew Simple Minds was going to be, and I remember that. I knew that kind of fucking thing. And then there was an exploding David Bowie quote.
It starts off with it because
It was like a quote, and then it just blows into like the very first attempt at like graphics.
Some of those things I find like because I must have seen this film so many times when I was growing up.
Yeah,
when I was like 14, and I thought it was amazing. And then there was so many things that I watched when I watched it back, and I was like, "Oh Christ!"
Yeah,
that when the whole screen explodes.
Yeah.
The bit where there's like one teacher who's looking after them for the full day, and him and Judd Nelson, that he's like the fucking proper rebel guy.
Yeah.
And at one point he just yells "fuck you," but it's like echoey as if it's bouncing off buildings. And then the worst bit is when they all get high. And Emilio Estevez is just standing in a completely glass room. And he's so high, he screams and shatters all the glass.
I swear to God, as well, like the main problem I had with the film is if there was like a school shoot in that school, that teacher would not know until another day. Like he'd nothing. He picked up a nothing. The man, at one stage, the guy fell out of the roof, took the whole roof out. He didn't even come in. What's that?
They managed to fool him by taking the screw off the door.
I remember in our school we locked our teacher in out of the classroom with a T-square. You know, a T-square.
Yeah.
Propped like 2 or 3 T-squares up against the door handle. And he came in and it all exploded. Like 4 of the T-squares exploded. And he was like, "What happened there?" He's a proper stupid cunt. He was a tug of war champion.
What kind of school was this? Where they didn't play any normal sports at the Unihawk and tug of war. Then you graduate on a Kirby.
We never played Kirby, but I know what it is. Yeah. That was too far for us.
What were you good at school? Kiss, cuddle and talk. The fucking master.
What did you call the game? We called it IRA.
Of course you did.
When
when you blow up a street. What?
It's your turn to blow up geography class. It's your turn to blow up the geography class. What? Because you beat a secret word out of people. Some people called it red letters.
What? Torture? Like...
You would, like, say you had a team of 4 people, and all together they would have a letter each, and that letter, all 4 letters would make a word.
You had to beat a confession out of people.
You catch them and kick the living shit out of them until they give you a confession. And then, like, you know, you'd be like, L. And then if somebody squealed too quickly, then you got an extra hiding. You had to also put in you can't just give it up straight out the bat. You had to take a couple of slaps before giving it up.
Jesus. Just
waterboarding
people for fucking...
IRA.
My God, we didn't have that at all. So I think we get when wrestling was massive, we had a huge blaze pitch, red blaze pitch, and we used to draw a ring on it, and then play like have a Royal Rumble every lunchtime, but like a 60-man Royal Rumble.
Great.
So the entire year, every guy in the year just in there. trying amateur style, right, like tombstoning people on a solid ground in the winter.
Were you right? Because this is all about detention. Were you ever in detention? Like, were you a good student?
I wasn't that. I'm trying to think of the times I got in trouble. I think I got detention wasn't a thing. Lines were a thing. Did you have that where you got lines?
I would do lines
like the Bart Simpson thing where you had to. A game of Unihawk.
No, I never.
Half a gram before Unihawk.
One guy made us do lines. His name was Slop.
Slop.
Yeah, Slop Reed. So Slop.
Whoa! Slop was his first name.
I thought. Well, I don't know what his real name was. We called him Slop. He taught my mum. He was also. She also called him Slop. He was Slop from at least the 70s onwards. But I Slop Reed. Like he's the only guy I knew that made you. He would make you write lines. Like he always used to get mixed up in his words. So instead of a 4A4-paged essay, he would always go, "You have to write a fucking 4-paged essay." And we were like trying not to laugh, but he would also sign it. But he was so fucked. Like he would sign it, and then you would just bring the same copy in when he gave you lines, and he would sign it again. He wouldn't notice his own signature already on it. He was doing signatures over his own signatures. 4A4-page Slop Reed. I can't remember why.
Your mum?
Huh?
You taught your mum as well.
There was a couple that lasted. I told you there was a guy.
I used to call your mum Slop.
Sloppy Reed.
Seconds.
Sloppy seconds. Oh, here's a movie related one. Before I get into this, the worst thing is, and this is like almost criminal. I'll not name him. I think he's dead now, but I had an English teacher who, when I was about 14, like in junior cert, like 3 years into secondary school, essentially, he'd wheel out the DVD. You know, everybody's getting fun. They're going to watch a movie. And in English class, he kept making us watch the movie Unfaithful. Do you know that one?
Yeah, the one with
Dan Lane and the Richard Gere.
Yeah, the wife has an affair with someone.
It's famous for like 9 sex scenes.
Yeah.
You just kept putting that on, watching it at all the 14-year-olds.
That's quite a steamy film. Yeah.
But he made us watch it like 3 times.
Jesus.
And I remember when I was like 25 ago, I kind of went, oh no.
Fucking hell.
I don't know. I was like, God, I was like, fucking hell. I must have blanked that from memory.
There was a couple of guys, because my wife she went to Gaelic school.
Yeah.
And at that time, because she's from the islands, there was so few of them, they would get like taxis to school.
Oh, wow.
And so they would, like, taxis would maybe pick up a couple of them and then they'd all get taken there. And she was telling me there was one afternoon where she was getting a taxi home, the taxi driver, and it was like a roasting hot day in Glasgow. So she was in the back of the taxi about 8-9 years old and just started stripping off. And she was like, now thinking back at the poor taxi driver was just like fucking like nearly going off the road, panicking, because he's like, if I stop at lights here,
yeah,
and I've just got a kid in the back stripping, like,
fuck's sake.
And then one of the taxi drivers that did her school got done for because he was listening to porn over but it was like on a tape, like an actual cassette tape of porn he'd made. So he was just listening to that with kids in the back, like he wasn't getting them to join in or anything.
That's so fucked.
That's what he was listening to.
I feel like that's even worse, and I don't know why.
It's so
weird. More sinister.
It's fucked up.
It's creepier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not as bad as if we made try and make them join in, but like in my head, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I love
listening
that.
to the porn. That's
on tape.
Aye.
That'd be great. He's got them all like Melinda. You're like, is this on AM? Is this one of them AM channels that I hear about? Medium wave, is it? Oh my god! Do you know the graffiti? The graffiti in the movie.
It's the first thing you see in the whole film.
Yeah, they kept showing the thing, and one of them just said, "I don't like Mondays," and I was like, "That's very tame." And I was like thinking of, because I was thinking of where I'm from. All IRA slogans and stuff or whatever. And then I was like, God, this is very tame. And then at the very end, it really didn't get tame. Yeah. Someone dropped a faggot on the wall. And I was like, oh, here we go.
Well, it's the guy, it's Judd Nelson's character, it's his locker, because they go there later on to get to pick up the weed.
I didn't even fucking notice that.
So it's set up as like a kind of thing, because I didn't remember this at all.
Yeah.
And there's like he set up his locker, because again, that's another thing that we didn't have. Like, I don't, like, at no point did we have lockers at school.
We all had lockers.
Really? I thought that was a purely American thing, lockers. Like, we had nowhere, because we don't, what shit have you got to store in a fucking locker?
Fucking, like, see, this is
Why have you got personal artifacts?
We don't have
at
any
school?
personal artifacts at all.
But how much work have you got that you can't keep in a school bag?
We had like 16, 17 books.
What?
Yeah.
At school?
Yeah.
At high school?
Yeah. Oh, because you only did fucking 4 subjects or some shit.
No, we did. No, I would do. So that
like
kind of
9.
stage, we'd have 7 subjects.
Okay, yeah.
But
some are
you wouldn't have them every day. Like,
you would have about. You would have about. So that's why
you'd have maybe 3 a day.
So they're in your locker, and then the next day you would just like. So you're going between classes. You have like 3 books and your copy books and your pencil case, and then you swatch it out at the break. Like, right, you fuck off science for a few days. And if if you had your PE gear, you'd chuck it in there.
We'd have it all in our whatever we had that day. We'd have it in our school bag.
Yeah, fucking. I mean, I had some horror shows with school bags. You know, a lot like lost a banana under the books or something. You know, didn't realize for a couple of hours, and it's fucking. Absolute fucking disaster. Why does everything stink of banana, Cullen?
By his locker is he set up this kind of thing where there's like a guillotine where if you open it, and the thing is, it says open this and you die, fag. Right? And when I saw it at that, I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't remember that at all when I was watching it. But then I realised that wasn't a word. Like, when I was 14 and I watched this when it first came out, that word meant nothing to me.
Yeah,
Literally, I'd never heard that as a slur. I'd never heard that. No one had ever slagged anyone off calling them that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
when you saw it again, you're like...
But then now that I'm like... But what I find really funny is the fact that he put that... So he said fag... his name is John Bender, which was the word we would have used.
Yeah, yeah.
So it would be like, open this lock and you die, Bender. That would have been like... So.
We had in our hometown, there's a graffiti. You're done with graffiti on the thing. We have it's my favourite bit of graffiti, apart from one that said stop and a knee higher underneath it. No idea why I find that so funny. But someone put an ER in dangerous bend ahead. So if you go into Dunfanny, it's a big massive sign going dangerous bender ahead. And it gets me every time. It gets me every time.
Do you know there's a bit of graffiti in Partick in Glasgow that I can't remember if it was my wife or one of my pals sent me. And I'll put it up on the Twitter and Instagram of this because I've got it on my phone, and it's someone's written it in non-capital letters, just letters.
Yeah, I didn't know you asked me there to help you, and I was like...
Undercase.
Oh, fucking world.
Right, written, and it just says, Nelson is a fat cunt. It's just on a wall in Glasgow. I was like,
who the fuck wrote this?
I know.
I think it's up to you. It'd be great if every day you come back and there's a smaller, different picture of you. Do you know when Banksy put up a wee...
It got vandalized. But apparently that wasn't Banksy.
Oh, right.
Two guys have come out today.
Because some people were saying like it was unverified Banksy.
Yeah, because Banksy's doing a exhibition in Glasgow just now, and a Banksy appeared down one of the alleyways, and then within a day it was vandalised.
Yeah,
but then apparently it's not. It's 2 guys that have taken claim for it. And Banksy's not come out to say anything. But yeah, so that word, which is a horrific word, never meant anything to me. But I've never ever said it on stage, right? And I still haven't said it on stage.
Yeah.
But last weekend, I was doing a gig in Glasgow, and it's a gig that is it's a rotunda, and it's just across from the Hydro, which is the biggest concert venue in Scotland. And Elton John was on.
Okay.
Right? So Elton John's on there for 2 nights, absolutely rammed, sold out. And I was going on to close the gig. And
Elton John?
I was on to close Elton John.
Right on after Racket Man.
It's me that's making him retired. That's enough.
Give me a fucking glasses. While he's walking off, give me the fucking glasses. I want to do this.
So there was two women that had they were a good laugh actually, but they were proper pissed off because they'd been drinking out in the sun all day, and they came in so they'd gone out. I'd seen them go out at the end of the last act and then been out the entire break and then come in 10 minutes into me.
Okay.
So they were kind of doing that kind of thing where they were like making so much noise but acting like they were being really, really sneaky, sneaking in.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, where have you been? Where have you been? And we're like, oh, we're outside smoking. And I was like, for 40 minutes? That's a hell of a time to be smoking. And they went, there's a lot of fags out there. So I went, well, Elton John's playing next door. And do you know, like, at the time, I was like, if anyone's filming this, that I said to the folk afterwards, like, if anyone's filming this, please delete that immediately. Because I am actually very proud of the quickness of that joke. But also, never tell anyone I've done this.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. That is proper. Rotunda probably would have lost their minds. Did they fucking you know when the slam in the show where he does does Barry Manilow know you?
Oh, it's my favourite bit of the whole film.
Does Barry Manilow know you rate his wardrobe?
And the line afterwards when he goes, if you mess with the bull you get the horns. I was like,
my granddad said that to me a lot.
Really?
No, I was just looking at it going, what, Jesus?
There's quite a lot of things I've used. I didn't realise the amount of lines from this film that me and my wee brother used growing up. There's a bit where Bender's ripping up library books and Brian tells him to stop it. And he's like, you're destroying literature. And he goes, yeah, because Moliere really pumps my nads. And me and my wee brother used to say that all the time.
Really?
To anything. Like, even if we were at like our grandparents and they'd suggest going to like some shit that we had to go in the summer holidays, like go to some summer fete. And we would be like that, look at each other and go, oh yeah, summer fetes really pump my nads. Like, a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old just...
It's such a ridiculous thing to say. Oh, fuck me.
Do you know another thing we used to say, and we still do it? I think this is from American Pie. There's a bit in American Pie where they're talking about going to the prom, and I can't remember. One of them says, "Right, what's the plan?" And one of them goes, "The plan is we all get laid." And me and my wee brother used that up until I reckon I would be about 38 years old. And I remember one time, right, we were at Christmas dinner, and my grandpa was still alive, right? And what we used to do is at Christmas we would go back and we'd go out on Christmas Eve. My mum would have a big dinner on Christmas Eve, and then we'd go out. We'd been out drinking all day, and then we'd go out in the town afterwards. And I remember we hadn't, because we used to say this when we were growing up, is when the American Pie came out, and then we hadn't said this for years. And I remember we're sitting at the Christmas table, and my granddad said, "What's the plan tonight, boys?" And nobody said it. My wee brother just went like that. "The plan is we all get laid." And I fucking fell off my chair laughing. Like my entire family just looking at us both like we're lunatic. And I was pissing myself laughing.
That's excellent. You said, by the way, you said the start of that thing like my granddad was still alive. It made it sound like he died because of what you said.
Yeah, he died.
From that moment, he was like,
over at the Christmas table.
I fucking Christmas dinner. Oh fuck! It's always Christmas dinners. It's always Christmas. My grandmother registered dead once in a blood pressure machine in Christmas dinner. She brought out a blood pressure machine and she started putting it on. We all were trying it on for size, see what our blood pressures were. And then she took hers and it registered as dead. And we were looking at her like, do you feel okay? It just comes up dead sometimes.
Did Kai not register dead when we were in Vegas? Because I can't remember how.
Did you ever speak to him?
Did Ricketts not have a... Ricketts had some kind of blood pressure type thing. And I think he did it with Kai, and Kai registered dead at one point.
Great. Well, that makes me feel better that it, Ricketts burst his eardrums, by the way. It burst an eardrum.
In Benidorm? Did he?
Jumping off like a lilo into the water. I thought he was hungover, and I walked into the hotel room, and he was just lying there going like, "I'll burst my eardrum." And I was like, "You didn't burst your eardrum. You're full of fucking shit. You're grand. Get out." And then today, put in the group, lads, that's that confirmed burst eardrum. And I was like, oh, sore.
Do you ever do wrestling moves on lilos in the pools?
No, I rarely did wrestling.
We used to do that all the time.
It would be fun. Well, Benidorm's the place for it.
Square lilo, getting it and then suplexing it into the pool. Oh,
great.
Oh, just groups of glasses watching you going, fucking losers.
None of that. Nobody's watching. No one's watching wrestling. Get me him. Bit of Benoit. We had like. Did you actually have to write essays? You know, like the detention, the write essay about yourself, wasn't it?
You had to write who do you think you are? That's what they had to do by the end of the day.
You didn't have to do that.
Word. No, not like we got lines. That was the main thing. We get told to write the same thing. Like, I will not do this again. Okay. I will not disrespect the school and all this kind of shit. But you had to write it 1,000 times.
Oh my God. I was a good boy. School, a little nerd. I remember at school we were forced to write an essay about 9/11 when it happened.
Really?
I was in primary school.
A confession.
You fucking tell me.
An alibi.
You all write alibis right now. Tried it all the children like chief suspects. Where were you in 9/11? We were here. You told us to go home. We got to go home early. It was only like an hour early because it happened like 2:00 with us.
It would be because it was about 9 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was about 2:00. Yeah, it happened and went on TV, and teachers were like, "Ring all your parents. Everyone's going home. I want to watch TV." And then the next day we came in and they were.
Me and my pal, we were off.
Well, we conspiracy theorists.
So we were back from uni, holidays. We went to separate unis. He was around my house, and we were watching a film called The People Under the Stairs. You ever seen that? It's a weird horror film about these.
You know the hip hop group.
Weird group of folk that hang in. I remember watching it, and there's two things. I don't know if I've ever told you this. There's two things that my dad claims about 9/11. Right? One is because he came again. He must have got sent home from work, or he just left work. Because I remember sitting and just watching it all day, and he is adamant that these two things. He's adamant that the guy that reported the Pentagon one was a guy in CNN, and his name was Eric Shun, right? So he was like, there's a guy called Eric Shun, and I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, erection, and I was like, right? And he also he claims he's the only man I've ever met that says this happened. He claims that at one point CNN or NBC reported that the military had shot a passenger plane out of the sky. And it was reported once, and it was never said again. And he's adamant.
That's one I would have, in fairness, because it was absolute mayhem. Like, you know, it was absolute mayhem in the news, and everything was like, other thing just. I bet you that easily happened.
But there's no way. Oh, like, it happened as in someone reported it. It didn't actually happen.
Yeah, someone reported it. Yeah, I reckon that could have well and truly, but nobody fucking like that. By the way, that's one of the funniest things I've heard. Your dad was like, there's all the people like jet fuel made steel booms. Your dad is just like, there was a guy called Erection.
Erection, yeah.
There was a guy called.
He'll still mention it about once a year.
It's like the weakest conspiracy theory.
Erection.
I don't give a shit.
Erection.
Forget the moon landings. When it was reported, there was a guy called Balls Deep. Balls Deep reported the moon landings. I swear to God. Him on the other side, Joe Rogan going, what? Your dad would smash it in Joe Rogan. It's just funny reporter names. There was a real dark part you're on about. Not only the use of the word faggot when they said they were going to lock the door and impregnate Molly.
I was
like, oh, fuck me. I don't think that would pass in the old.
There's a lot of sexual aggressiveness towards Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he looked up her fucking.
He sticks his head in between her legs at one point because he's hiding under the desk. Because again, he's crawled through the. Like fucking John McClane style, he's crawled through the viaducts to get back in.
I did think there was a lot of that type of shit. Like, I mean, again, how he fell through the roof. Nobody noticed shit. Well, who, was it John Bender that also said that we were on about wrestling? Said wrestling was just lobotomy, a lobotomy and some tights.
Yeah. Some of the lines are amazing. Like some of the bit where he's describing, he does an impression of Brian's family life. Where he's like, it's all like a picture perfect kind of weekend.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, what's yours like? And he does it when his dad just basically, and then Brian goes, is that true? And he goes, you want to come over sometime?
My dad and your dad should go for a drink.
Yeah.
It was one of the fucking by the way, what a massive school. Like the room they were in was
There's about
it's like a library, was it? Just
that's a library they're in. There's a 5-minute chase sequence where they go through the entire school.
Yeah.
I learnt today when I was reading up on the film today, because I was telling you that I got because we were recording 2 today, and I got back from a gig last night, and I couldn't sleep, so I just watched both films again.
Great.
And then I stayed up till like 5:30, and I was reading about it. There was have you ever seen the film Porky's?
No,
because you will be at some point. Because the minute I find it, we're gonna watch it. Like so.
Great. No, I don't think so. I'm just trying to think that I know. For some reason, the movie Holes came in my head, and that's not what
Porky's
it is.
is like it's the original, like in the was it early 80s proper sex comedy. It's what American Pie
once
derived from. Like it was like like teenage sex comedies. And there was a Porky style scene that was in this film originally, and what it was the teacher and the janitor, right? Who at one point just go down and start tanning beers in the basement.
Blackmailed them for 50 quid.
Only for 50 quid as well.
He's like, I think these, and then I started getting all philosophical.
Yeah.
I reckon you want these kids to.
Yeah.
There was one part, was that to the kids or to him, where he goes, I'm like 31k and I don't want to throw it away.
Yeah, that's
on all you guys.
That's a bit where he's locked Bender in the cupboard, and he threatens it. He basically says, "Look, I'm gonna kick the living shit out of you. Like, let's go." He takes his jacket off and he goes, "Right, I'll give you the first punch. Let's go right now."
That's right.
Who's gonna believe you?
And he leans in, like closing his eyes, like, God, hit me.
Then he does that thing when he goes like that, he fucking pops him.
That's right. Sorry, that's right.
But there's a deleted scene from the original script that had the teacher and the janitor spying through peepholes, watching the school's synchronized swimming teacher swimming in the pool naked.
What the fuck? I can see why they took that out.
Yeah.
That would have been some filming. Do you reckon that's one of those scenes where they filmed and then they in the editing room and the director's like, I think I was drunk that day.
Yeah. There's some mental. I think it was Molly Ringwald that asked him to remove it.
Yeah.
Because she got him, because everyone hated Judd Nelson, who played Bender, because he kept in character the whole time. And he was a real piece of shit to Molly Ringwald, even off camera, the time.
What a fucking part to go all method acting on.
Do you know who nearly got that part?
Who?
It was originally going to be John Cusack.
I thought you were about to say it was going to be me. John Cusack.
I was 4 years old when this was made.
It would have been one of the weirdest. Could have been me.
It's like it was going to be John Cusack. Do you know who was considered for it before that? Nicolas Cage.
Nick.
Yeah.
I reckon Cage would have smashed it.
Big Nick. I know.
Big Nick. Did fucking. By the way, did you have a school uniform?
Aye.
Yeah, I was jealous that they didn't.
You know, have a school uniform?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
They just wear. But then they might have. It's a Saturday. So they can wear what they want.
Yeah. Okay, in fairness.
What was I gonna say? Because you didn't grow up at the same time, you wouldn't really know, like, because all like Estevez and Anthony Michael Hall, who's in this, and like Rob Lowe, Charlie Sheen, and all that.
Yeah.
They were called the Brat Pack. Like Molly Ringwald and Ali Sheedy were part of that as well.
Oh, so really?
Tom Cruise was as well, kind of.
Yeah.
They were all part of this massive, and they were in all the films.
Okay. Yeah. So they were like our. What was my version of it? Like fucking David Spade and Adam Sandler.
Yeah, well, I.
You know, David Spade, Adam Sandler, and you're fucking Kevin James.
Yeah,
The newer one again is like Seth Rogen, James Franco.
Yeah. I just meet gangs of folk that all hang about each other. Yeah.
And do all the movies. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Fucking, it's. I wish Charlie Sheen was in it instead of Emilio, though.
Do you ever, when was it you found out Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen were brothers?
Oh, almost immediately.
That blew my mind when I found that out.
Yeah, because they even look like each other a bit.
I don't know why. I've probably meant to Google it about 30 times. I don't understand why he changed his name.
Because it's too Spanish sounding, was it?
But
no, it's other. Sorry, I was of the impression that their real name was Estevez, all of them.
So it's Martin Estevez.
I feel like I'm wrong.
Charlie
now.
Estevez.
Charlie Estevez. Yeah. Why Charlie Estevez? I thought maybe it was the other way around. They changed their name. You know, like Irish people.
So he's the only one that's kept it, and they went to Sheen.
I feel like it was that. I might be completely full of shit. That was what I had the impression of years ago. I haven't checked this at all. Like the last time I've even said that was 15 years ago. So I reckon I could be chatting.
That'd be interesting.
I got to check. I did a little bit of digging in this, and it just came up. Why did Emilio Estevez change his name from Sheen? Mm-hmm. As he looked to establish a career in Hollywood, he decided to use a stage name. Back in 1958, he changed his name from Ramon Estevez to Martin Sheen because at the time there was a lot of prejudice against the people of Hispanic name.
Wow.
So Martin Sheen's real name is Ramon Estevez.
Wow.
So it was the other way around. It's not... What if fucking Martin Sheen's an odd stage name?
Aye.
Why would your son choose your same stage name?
Exactly. Why? So was he Charlie Estevez then?
Let's get this, because like Charlie Estevez is so funny. Like, so Charlie.
That's a cool as fuck name.
Charlie Sheen's real name is Carlos Irwin Estevez.
Wow.
Carlos Estevez.
Estevez.
It's a way better name.
Especially considering. I mean,
especially considering the coke.
Exactly. I know. Christ Almighty! Like,
so Carlos Estevez.
He's the only guy who's his own dealer.
Ramon Estevez. Yeah. So Emilio was the only one that was like, no, I'll keep my real name. So it's the other way around.
I would never have thought that.
That's great. I'm a big fan. We checked that.
Aye, that is class, actually.
Jesus Christ.
I can understand maybe Martin Sheen doing it, but there's kind of been that much against Hispanic actors in the early 80s.
Yeah, you'd think there was, Julio Iglesias was flying. How could you be hitting him? How could you be hitting? Maybe Martin, back in the Apocalypse Now. I don't think you would have got Ramon Estevez.
But they don't know how to. Martin Sheen never struck me as the most Hispanic looking guy.
He actually looks incredibly American.
He does, aye.
Yeah, incredibly. He's got that fucking. He's got a presidential head.
He played the president. He was
did he? Well, there you go.
The West Wing.
Oh, yeah, shit. That was his big thing. There's a part. Did you ever have a fake ID? Because there's a part where he said, "Do you have a fake ID to vote?" He gets it. The nerd gets a fake ID.
Yeah, I never. I don't think I ever used a fake ID because we didn't. Dumfries, where I grew up, was pretty lax in terms of. It was. I'd remember going out the first time. I think I would be about 14, and we went out, and it was the first time because we tried a couple of times and we'd never get in anywhere. And the first time I ever got served at a bar, I was that surprised. I'd not really. Do you know how you used to rehearse? Whether you had if they asked for your date of birth, you'd have it down to a T.
Yeah,
you knew exactly what to say. But I never had anything following up that, and I never knew. So when I went up to the bar, and I just went, "Can I get a pint?" Right, and the guy was like, "A pint of what?" And I hadn't rehearsed for this bit, so I just went, "Pint of heavy." Right, so my first ever drink was a pint of fucking bitter, like just 80 shilling bitter. That's a 14-year-old going back with a tankard of bitter, just like.
That's such a horrible one.
Right, it's your turn, boys.
Go around to Sherry's. That's so fucking. Yeah, he rehearsed that part. I had to get a fake ID for university.
Really?
Because I was 17 when I started.
Oh yeah.
And on the first day, because I was 5'5" when I started university, and I was I looked so young. And this guy came up to me. I was on the computers, like the whatever computers trying to sign into your UCD Connect account or whatever, and a dude came up to me and he went, "Fucking hell, what is here?" He went, "Fucking hell, here." I goes, I got my license. Here's my fucking provisional. He handed me. He goes, "You look nothing like me, but it might help. You have brown hair. That's about it." I remember his name. I must go try and find him. His name was Rory Croom Carroll.
Rory Croom Carroll.
I had to go, "My name's Rory Croom Carroll," and so thank you, Rory Croom Carroll, because it did work. And mind you, a few people were just like, "You don't sound like you're from Tipperary." And I go, "What the fuck are you saying?" Because I nothing like you're from. We know exactly where you're from with that accent.
Wow.
Yeah, Rory Croom Carroll.
So he just gave you it at the
He
goodness
did
of his heart.
literally on the first day. No, it wasn't the goodness. I think it was more like, "Fuck me." He looked at me like, "Fuck me." "Did you lose your dad? Is he here? Is he here for geography or something?" He was like, "Here, take my passport. Fucking steal that." It was more of that. The fucking state. Rory Carroll from Tipperary.
You should try and find him.
I should. I'll try and find them, and if I do, I'll post it as well.
Imagine
why would I post it? People like.
Imagine he's just been doing that his entire life.
Imagine I
getting kids drunk.
Oh, that'd be so bad if I start finding all these things. Like he's a kid trafficker.
You ever seen in Pinocchio where they get they load up the kids and they take them to Pleasure Island and the kids think it's the best place in the world and they start feeding them beer and then they turn into donkeys. You've never seen this?
No,
it's terrifying in the Pinocchio cartoon.
No, but it does sound like something.
They're playing pool and there's one kid he's tanning a drink and he's smoking cigars. And then for some reason, whatever they've given him, it turns him into donkeys. So he like grows this big donkey face.
No.
And then he grows a tail.
It's like the witches.
He starts speaking like a donkey.
I hate that. That witches scene is what you're reminding me of.
I've not seen a witches.
The witches, they turn into rats at the table. It's genuinely one of those fucking terrifying things I've ever seen. Everyone, kids, adults, everyone just starts slowly turning into rats. But like the CGI wasn't good enough, which actually made it way worse. More terrifying with the fucking. I was like, Jesus Christ! Even to this day, I try to rewatch it.
Jesus,
horror show. They're like, "Oh yeah."
Do you have any mental teachers at school?
Are you kidding? I had a religion teacher that kept going. I remember one day there was a guy, Christopher Bryson, his name was. He was like, religion teacher just started going, "Christopher, stop looking at me with those judgmental eyes." And Christopher was such a nice lad. He was like, "What?" He was doing nothing. He's like, what do you mean? He goes, "Stop fucking judging me with those judgmental eyes." And we like just started freaking out. And then a guy at the back of the classroom, God, he was so funny. He just couldn't have it. He was the John Bender of this class. He just stood up and went, "Fuck this, I'm getting a snack box." Just walked out. Gary Brown. "Fuck this, boys, I'm getting a snack box."
We had a guy, we had two mental teachers that I can remember. One was a guy, a geography teacher, who we knew he was a bit mental at the time, and then nothing really happened while we were there, but then years later he was on like a Channel 4 documentary about hoarders.
Oh,
and
no.
He basically lost his mind.
Oh no.
And they went into his house and he was sitting in like a house covered, I think it was newspapers and all sorts of shit, but he was living in like a prison, so he just had this tiny space that he just sit in all day because he'd hoarded so much in his fucking life. Excuse me. And our music teacher was he's a fucking bellend actually. He used to play for Celtic, right? And he wasn't even like, I think he'd played like 2 games at left back for Celtic. That's what he told us anyway.
Oh, right.
And when I was in a band in 5th and 6th year, he got I don't know if he got sacked or suspended for the school for punching the drummer in our band because they used to do music, and there was one night there was a music night and they'd all gone into the music rooms and he was sitting playing the piano, and remember the Baby Bird song, "You're Gorgeous, You're Gorgeous." Right. Well, he was sitting there talking about this teacher, just going, "You're a wanker," and he'd come in and fucking leathered him, just leathered him.
My God,
Like, it was amazing. He had so the kid
that would have been the talk of the fucking
the
school.
kid had to leave. Like, he had to leave the school because he'd been leathered by the music teacher.
Oh, fuck I thought you meant the
No, he got disciplined, and I don't know what ended up happening to him because this was when I was in 6th year, so I only had like
re-signed for Celtic.
I only had months left, but then I found out that Michael, our drummer, because he was half Canadian anyway, and his parents just ripped him out of school and they moved to Canada.
Wow, that's amazing. We abused a teacher. We called one of our teachers Malibu Barbie just because she wore makeup compared to everyone else.
No genitals.
She had no genitals, but a lovely smile. Basically, just wore mascara. Oh, this fucking. What was this one thing to herself? That's how little it took. The fucking Malibu Barbie coming in here. We used to have a guy that had our history teacher used to have like one of those big cowboy kind of hats, and we all every time we on the polyphonic tones we were playing like the Indiana Jones theme tune when he walked in the stairs. But actual beeps, just there.
Amazing.
Aye.
Aye. So we'll talk before we finish off. The reason. So the 5 of them. Did you ever find out why Bender's in the detention, or is he just in it all the time?
I don't. Yeah.
Because he gets a shitload more added on.
Yeah.
Just for being
a wank.
Just for back chat.
I don't remember why. I remember it was in the same conversation where one said she goes, I've got a shrink and he keeps banging me.
yeah. That's a really funny scene. Actually.
That's proper like what the fuck? Because I was only joking. I was like, thank God they went for that.
Yeah. Because at some point someone says that's totally wrong, and she was like, well, you can't really call it rape because I paid them.
Oh, yeah.
So because that Ali Sheedy, she's in because she's got nothing better to do. She's not even supposed to be there.
Yeah,
she's
that's
just
right. Yeah, that was funny.
She's got fuck all to do, so she's in there. Claire is in there, is like the prom queen. She's in there because she'd missed school shopping.
Yeah.
And then Emilio Estevez is in there because he taped the guy's arse together.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
Which is hilarious until he actually tells the story. And it's the most horrific, heartbreaking thing you've ever heard.
It's like the hair and the skin came off.
Because he was a hairy guy. So he's taping up his knee for wrestling. So it's obviously this really industrial, supportive tape.
Oh,
and he just tapes the guy's arse together. And then Brian, who's the nerdy
the
kid,
best one.
Because he's failing one of his classes. He's failing because you told me before we started this you had a metalwork teacher that had never studied metalwork.
Oh, yeah, he was just on the county GAA board team. My woodwork teacher used to play for Donegal. He was called John Rambo. His name.
Fuck off! Yeah, he was called John.
That's what we call it. I don't know his real name. Gavigan, I don't know. It's really good. Here comes John Rambo. I don't know why we called him John Rambo. I think it's just because he was hired.
So Americans like metalwork, they call it shop.
Really? Okay.
That's what they call it. Like I think it just incorporates metalwork, woodwork.
Okay.
I think we did because tech drawing was part of that as well.
Yeah, we did that too.
We did plastics at one. I remember making
Never did that.
I remember making like a is it a protractor? No, is a protractor the thing you draw circles with?
Yeah, I think so.
Like a fucking ruler thing.
The triangle.
Like a triangular ruler.
Ah, fuck. Oh, maybe it is a protractor. No, protractor's
aye.
I think. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about anyway.
So he's failing that, and because it's the only class he's failing, and he's under so much pressure to get good grades, he brings a gun to school. That he's getting and kind of going, what was the gun for, Brian?
Yeah, was it
and
for
then
you? Or
like, oh, fucking Jesus. And then it's a flare gun. So it goes off in his locker.
It was so fucking funny. I did nearly spit out my cereal. I watched it in the morning, for instance. I thought that was definitely the funniest part of the film for me. because it's delivered all sad, and then they all start like
They all start pissing themselves.
Yeah. Because it is actually quite funny. Oh, fuck it up. Good fun, full of fucking madness.
I loved watching it again. I really did. I found it very, very funny.
Yeah.
And,
I know that dude too. The teacher. I can't remember what I know him from, but I remember him.
He's in what's it? He's in Trading Places. He's one of the guys in Trading Places. He's in Die Hard.
I think that's.
I think he's in Die Hard.
Oh God! Oh God!
I thought he was I thought he was one of the dick.
People in the
police
outfit.
captains that comes to try and
One of the Johnsons.
No, he's not one of the Johnsons.
I
But
know,
he comes to mess it up. He is, because he's the guy. He tries to impress the Johnsons.
Oh, I do know. I know. It's for some reason it's his lips. I remember
Because Al that's helping John McClane down the bottom, and then the police captain turns up, and he's a proper prick, and he never gets anything right. He's the same guy, I think.
Great.
I think.
Great.
Right.
We have
Before we go plugging stuff, next week
we have a banging one of I know you love it and I do too. We have the number one. We've got Face Off.
Yes.
The absolute John Woo classic.
John Woo.
The guy that, he uses anything to fucking fight.
Yeah. Oh,
And
excellent.
you know what? I have it somewhere here, but just a thing. You know what I found out as well while I was in this? They've stopped making the DVDs, so keep it. It's like if you
really?
have Facebook, I think they've made a couple of Blu-ray versions, but they've completely stopped making it. It was one of the things. But John Woo, I'll see you then.
Cheers for everybody that's downloaded it. It's been busy so far.
It is, good stuff.
And thanks for anyone that's left reviews. If you keep
doing that.
keep doing that, and write a review as well, because it helps boost us up. I've become obsessed with the buzz, because you kind of take care of the video stuff and I take care of the audio stuff.
So you're looking at
and so the pod's been. It tells you where everyone's
nice, right?
downloading from, right?
Yeah.
And I've become fascinated by it. So
we're
currently, see if you can, right, so obviously our top country, right, so what do you think the top country is that's downloaded us so far?
Scotland.
Well, it's United Kingdom.
Okay,
as part of
UK.
it. So the UK are currently 89.78% of them all.
Oh, right.
Second, Ireland, 2.56.
We've got Ireland.
So I can't help but feel I'm carrying this podcast at the moment.
Hey, anytime I ever have fans, by the way, they're in America.
America's third.
Yeah.
We've got some fucking.
That's hilarious. 89%. Like, recall, you've got coming in at 2.
Someone from Hawaii.
Yeah,
Because they only break down certain places. So they break down the UK into different countries. And then they break down America, Canada, Australia, Sweden, and Germany.
Yeah.
Right? So we've got...
I know the Swede.
Nobody from Sweden so far.
Okay.
2 people from Germany. 2 people from Algeria.
Yes.
But yeah, Hawaii. That fucking blew my mind.
That's great.
That's awesome. And follow us on Absolute Cuts on Twitter.
Yeah, we're trying to build up that page and
Instagram as well. If you want to watch the video, you can watch it on YouTube. All the links will be there. I've not figured out. I can't add the playlist that I've been making of all the songs. I can't add it to the Spotify of the episodes. So what I'll just do is create it as a Spotify playlist.
That's the best way.
And I'll just post it on there. And apart from that, I just keep sending us any stuff you want to send us on.
Yeah.
And you've got roast battles coming up.
I got roast battles coming up. I've got no, that's basically it. Yeah. If you're in fucking Dubai, I'll be there during the Fringe.
Are you going to Dubai during the Fringe?
I'm gone for 11 days during the Fringe.
We don't yet have the UAE.
No, we don't have any UAE. No. Great. Well, that's where it's going to be.
After you're there for 11 days,
and I don't get one person,
that has to be the mission. You have to get at least one downloader from from Dubai.
That is it. And if I don't, I'll do a forfeit.
Right. Cool. Right. Thanks very much for watching. See you next week for Face Off. Cheers.